Hello everyone, my name is Crow, and this is Uncharted Expeditions. This is episode 16. So last time we set up our production of lubricant, and we did that in the Dino dimension. I think it's called the Primordial Caves. And so we have a steady supply of lubricant that's coming in. We have that pump jack down there at that bedrock level kind of little setup. Creating crude oil. And so everything is pretty much automated down there. What I'd like to do today is to get closer and closer to using that lubricant to start mining stuff up. And as a reminder, we need to use this lubricant along with a drill, these different drill bits, to start excavating using the drilling machine. So, of course, um, another surprise was it was sprung on me when I said, okay, let's, I'll getting this set up. The drilling machine is, of course, easy enough to do. I have the white chocolate and the caramel pretty much on autocraft. I just got to stuff all those ingredients into the machines. However, this guy right here was a bit of a surprise. In order to make the iron drill, it requires 2 blocks of iron and then these things, the core rodent teeth. And this is going to require us to get into the Forlorn Hollows. So surprise, surprise, I can't do anything with that lubricant right now. So what I'm going to try and do today is, if we have time, we're going to start working on getting into the Forlorn Hollows. And to do that, we'll revisit Embers Rekindled, and we'll have to do some alchemy and the beam cannon. But before I do that, I'm gonna do something that I've been putting off for way too long. So I have my machines here, my thermal machines, and these are starting to process my ores. Also, I discovered these raw redstone blocks break down to like at least 6, if not more, redstone dust apiece, which is amazing because yeah, the thermal thinks that this just stone variant from Regions Unexplored is a redstone ore. So I'm getting 6 redstone dust with an additional chance of doubling that for 50%. It's amazing. The induction smelter can also get some slag or some cinnabar from it, but I only get 3 to start with a chance to double, and so the pulverizer is the way to go. So I'm just processing some of my ores. I've already got a bunch of iron and stuff coming up here. But one of what I want to do is I want to get these ores stored properly. And so I'm going to get into a actual storage system. To do that, I'm going to create the storage controller from Sophisticated Storage, and this will allow me to link together all of my sophisticated barrels into a single point. Okay. So got some pearls and I guess some clam meat as well. So most of these ingredients for the storage controller I've kind of collected throughout the playthrough so far. I've used the hopper upgrades a couple times. I'm using the warp pipes everywhere. I've even used the redstone links. The Buddha's hands we collected on one of our nether expeditions. And then the pearl we actually got from um, our crab trap, which is again down below underneath our big hub. Now I just need a sophisticated barrel. Storage controller, got. Awesome. So now what I want to do, and I'm not going to redo my entire storage system, but what I am going to do is get started on some limited barrels. And I want these to be limited barrel 3. And I think let's do 12. And so the limited barrel 3 can hold 3 different items, and I can use the memory settings to save what's in them. But the really great thing about the limited barrels is I can use the upgrades and I will, and mainly the compression upgrade. Okay, compression upgrade. I need pistons. Which will allow me to, oops. For example, I can take some silver nuggets a silver block, silver nuggets, and it automatically detects what is supposed to be in there. So I'm going to go and break this down. I made way too many dark oak blanks. But I'm going to break this down, and we're going to get all of our ores and ingots sorted out. And then we will install our storage controller as well. Okay, so I just dropped a bunch of barrels here, and I started loading them all up. Every barrel has this compression upgrade in it. I just need to go through and memory slot them all. This is going to be iron. It's memory slotted. That one. This one doesn't have anything in it. And then once I have everything kind of loaded up, let's see. This is going to be copper in here. Then I can just hold right click on here and it'll deposit everything that's already loaded in my inventory. I need to put like, I think lead, so this was nickel. I got a couple more here that I can put in there. I think nickel, lead, I'm not sure what else. Definitely lead. I got silver, I got zinc, I got nickel, copper, gold. But what I did is I linked these all together using the storage tool. And you just right click on the storage tool and you just click on the different barrels to link them together. And that way this can communicate with them even if it's not physically touching. So by default, this will automatically connect to any sophisticated storage that is beside it. Right? Like what do we got in here? I got a bunch of stuff in here. And so it should, now I can see, if you hold shift, you can see what's in the storage controller and it is looking at what the stuff that's in here. Right? Like you can see the crafting table and those upgrades. Now, nothing in there. I'm still holding shift and there's nothing in there. So it will by default connect, and it can connect through other things, right? Like, so if I put a barrel here and here, it'll connect to here and then here and then here and here and here. But using that storage tool will allow us to kind of bypass that and just link directly to things. So at this point now I have everything ore-wise set up, ready to go. I will probably not put in the different thermal ores. You know, those are like the Constantine and the bronze and stuff. I probably won't do those because I don't think that those will be necessary for things like, oh, tin. I got to do tin. Like I probably won't do steel because steel nuggets aren't going to be used very frequently. And so it's probably not worth it sticking them into a compression drawer. Same with Invar and like the Enderium or anything like that. But all the base ores I will absolutely put in there. Sulfur might be worth it. I'll probably create like a couple limited 2 barrels with compression upgrades in them. That way, because sulfur blocks can't get compressed any further. And so that would be useful for things like the Cinnabar, the Apatite, the Niter, Redstone, that kind of thing. But I'll probably make like a different stack in the hub there. So Dawnstone. I think Dawnstone nuggets are used for nothing. Our Dawnstone, yeah, so probably not worth it to, um, have these in a compression drawer either. Clogram, maybe. Forgotten Ingots, maybe. Frosteel, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. But the main focus is getting these blocks of iron and gold and that are just clogging up huge amounts of inventory just for nothing. So silver nuggets. So I need to get lead. And what was the other one? Tin. So tin. Gotta save all. And then lead. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so what is next? Let me clear out some stuff here. Storage controller. So we discussed that I need to work on the drilling machine, and remember the drilling machine, I need this guy right here. So the core rodent teeth. That is in the Forlorn Hollows. And so if we look at our quests, we can see that there's a couple different dimensions that we need to still go to. The Abyssal Chasm, the Toxic Caves, the other side. This is the personal dimension. And so these are going to be, this one's probably going to be the next one after this. But we can see that in our Undergarden quest, this is the Embers quest line, and it's leading us into the Forlorn Hollows. So this is where I want to go. To do that, we're going to need to get into the transmutation ritual. So I need an exchange tablet, 4 alchemies, and a beam cannon. So I'm going to go and craft that stuff, and we'll be right back. And I'm going to need to probably grab all these things as well. Okay, so I made a bunch of these Embers items that I'm going to need for this alchemy. And so Embers Alchemy is, it's kind of like Mastermind, like the board game. And so what you do is you create these different aspectus or aspecti, and these things are easy to make. You just have the Ember shard with the molten, metal, ingot stamp, and iron aspectus. So I made those actually quite a while ago in preparation for these. And then you just have these aspectus, and you kind of have to play a little game. Let's see. So I'm going to stick the beam cannon, and that beam cannon has to be pointing at the alchemy table. And I'm going to feed this with the ember receptor. Need my tinker hammer. And hopefully this will reach. I think it will. And then I'm going to put another Ember emitter. And I have one more one more face. Okay, so right click there. Hopefully this will reach. Right click there. And because I gave it power with that lever over there, it's going to come over here. And this is going to be charged up. So I want to give this a button. And so basically every time I press this button, this beam cannon will fire down directly at the Exchange tablet. So the first thing I'm going to make is I'm going to make a code breaking tablet. And this will kind of show what we need to do. So I need copper and lead, 2 archaic bricks, and 1 caminite plate with an ember grit in the middle. Caminite plate. And then the asbestos. Copper and, what was it? Copper and lead? What was it? Okay. So grits in the middle. And I need 2 bricks and then a plate. Okay. And so what you have to do is you have to kind of guess which is which. So each of these 3 ingredients will take one of these asbestos, and it's going to be any combination of these. So for example, it could be the bricks need the copper, the caminite needs the lead, or they could be all copper and no lead, or all lead, no copper, or 1 brick is copper and 1 brick is lead. So you kind of have to do a little bit of guesswork. I'm going to stick lead, and copper. And we'll see what happens. And so you can see that it has like the little the graphic there, which indicates that something is happening. And it takes just a second. Oh, and so that was right. I guessed correctly. And so if you don't guess correctly, then you get alchemical waste. And then you have to look at it. We can see here. Um, uh, Alchemical waste. And so glowing spots indicates correct aspect, while pale spots suggest the right aspect on the wrong ingredient. And so what you can do is you can open up this alchemical waste, and you can open up the code breaking tablet, and we'll throw the waste in here, and go from there. So what I'm gonna do is, I wonder if I have a book. Do I have a book? Okay, I have a clipboard. So I'm gonna write down all this stuff. So code breaker, and that's gonna be bricks, lead, plate, copper. Right? Because the bricks were lead and then the plate was copper. I don't think I'll ever have to make another code breaking slate. But you never know. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to create the guano stone to get to the Forlorn Hollows. And so the guano stone bricks are going to be clogram and organic compost, and this is either going to be dawnstone, lead, or silver. So I made all the asbestos that I would need. Dawnstone, lead, silver. And let me just throw this over here because I do not need it. I got these item extractors so I can automate this process once I have figured out the recipe. And made a bunch of clogram over here. This Ember melter is still the best way of processing the Undergarden. The Undergarden ores. So anytime I need to process Frost Steel or Clogram, then I still will use that. But at this point, that's pretty much it, just because the thermal machines do offer a little bit of better return. Okay, so let's get some organic compost. So organic compost and Clogram with a Caminite brick in the middle. Oh, I don't have any more Caminite bricks. That is a bummer. What do I need to make Caminite? Sediment and the goo balls. Okay, I will be right back. Let me get the rest of these things crafted. So I finished crafting up a bunch of Caminite bricks, and then I dropped down some barrels here. So this one has the Clogram in it, this one has the Caminite bricks, and this one has the organic compost. And so we see that these, the outside ingredients are going to go on the pedestals. And so every time I hit the button, I should have one. Oh. And it looks like this thing needs to be fed on from the top. Perfect. But this one should work just fine there. And just make sure those don't connect. Perfect. So this is the recipe, and now I just need to figure out the aspectus. So I have a silver, lead, and dawnstone. I mean, I guess maybe we'll do 2 silver and 2 lead, and we'll see how that works. And taking screenshots is like the best thing for these things, because you don't want to, I don't want to have to figure this out and try and remember some of this stuff. Okay, so this is the alchemical waste. So we're going to throw it in the tablet. And this tells you what every aspectus went. And so these are not glowing. And so I know that 2 of these aspectuses are correct, but they're on the wrong ingredient, right? Pale spots suggest the right aspect has been placed on the wrong ingredient. Okay, so that means 2 of these aspectuses are right and 2 are wrong. So let's go with, let's say silver is the right aspectus on the wrong ingredient. And then 2 of these aspectuses are completely wrong. So let's throw out the lead. And we'll do dawnstone. Oops, and so if I get the same situation, then I will know that silver was the wrong, and I should bring back the lead. Okay. Okay. So we see the change here, and so this is 2 aspectuses are in the right location entirely with the right ingredients, and then 1 aspectus, right aspect, wrong ingredient. So this tells me that I think we were right with the lead, getting rid of the lead. Okay, so let's just think about this. let's It's kind of a brain buster. So let's think about this logically. So what changed was I dropped the lead and added the dawnstone. Okay. If these two are the right ones and I move them over, then these would be the highlighted ones. And so the silver are correct. Which means that these dawnstone would be correct. But I don't think that can be the case. I think that this is going to be 3 dawnstone and 1 lead. I think that the silver are wrong. 3 dawnstone and 1 lead. Right? Maybe I'm an idiot. But to me, this would make sense that the dawnstone was the correct, because the lead, it might get the same double credit because it's the same ingredient with the same aspectus. Maybe I'm an idiot. We'll find out. But I don't have 4, so these are not the right 4 aspects. So I wonder if it counts these as the wrong ones because they're flipped. And if that's the case, but see, this one can't be silver, otherwise it would be in the right spot. If the lead turns to dawnstone, what if these two? So maybe these two need to be switched. Okay, let's go back to silver. Let's toss out lead. If this was dawnstone and this one was silver, if this one, okay, so if we put this one back to silver, okay, I'm gonna see if this makes a difference here. Oh. Because this is technically, this is not the same. But I did switch this for this. Right, because this one... So this would explain this being in the wrong spot. Are these just 2 silvers? Maybe this is lead. Maybe this is lead. No, it can't be. Because if this is... So this is not correct spot because of here. So the ones that are in the right spot, because I have no pale dots, none of these aspectuses are in the wrong spot. So basically I'm just missing an aspectus. I think I need to lose a dawnstone. And it needs to be lead. I think this is right. Because then this will be lead and silver, and that would explain these two. And that would be I had 2 dawnstone and a... Haha! There we go. Okay, so that means that the... I'm not going to write this down because I Guanastone, once I get into the Forlorn Hollows, that will be done. All right. So I need 14 of these guys and a Totem of Undying, which I absolutely have. I actually have one in my pocket here. So it's kind of like it's a little bit difficult to kind of wrap your brain around. But like, that's cool, right? All right, and I will come back. I'll replace the corners once I make more. Yeah, just for just to make it look a little bit nicer. And let's see if it works. Perfect. So before I travel into the Forlorn Hollows, I do want to do a little bit of work between episodes. I want to be prepared to be able to make some model frameworks of some of the mobs in there and level them up using the deep learner. I know I won't be able to actually use them in the simulation chamber yet or the loot fabricator because these are going to require a little bit more advanced things. Like this requires acid and whatnot. But I want to kind of start moving in that direction. The reason that is because some of these things in the Forlorn Hollows are going to be like real difficult and like a real pain in the butt to kill. And so I'm going to have to kill them eventually anyways. And so I want to kind of get the credit for them while I can. And so I'll have to basically do a little bit of work in between episodes and getting this wireless terminal. And I will probably have to, we'll come back to next time and I'll have to do a little bit of energizing with Create New Age. But that's not too bad. It's just using the mechanical crafter to do a little bit of this work right here. All right. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or tips or tricks or anything, please leave them below. And I'll see you next time. Take care.